So last time, the four of you were contacted by Delta Green in one way or another, all sorts of different manners, in order to go on a night at the opera, a an operation, but in code, Delta Green code, the best kind of code. Uh, some of you maybe were assigned to a task force or whatever. Some of you got letters or emails or so on and so forth. But one way or another, you're here, and the operation was to figure out the possessions of a past Delta Green Agent Clyde Bauman. He has recently passed a few days ago, and he has not worked for Delta Green in decades at this point. The exact year escapes me at the moment. I think it was like 68 or something, 1968. Um, but it's 2009 now, and he's passed. But Delta Green is still worried that perhaps he held on to some things from back in the 60s and 70s when he might have been working for them. That's They do not want his children to get their hands on things that we don't want anyone who is not Delta Green to get their hands on. And looking through his possessions, trying to see if he violated any security protocols, if he kept anything he shouldn't have, so on and so forth. You're on cleanup duty. The body's already been taken care of, which was great. It smelled a little bit in the apartment, but other than that, it's fine. Seems this Bauman guy has lived a very, um, depressed life at this point. His apartment did not seem like a very cheery place, unfortunately. But while searching the place, you did uncover that he had a van outside and a cabin a few hours' drive away. Inspecting the van, you found a big old drum of acid. Great stuff. Definitely not ominous at all. A shovel that looks like it has been used somewhat recently, but not like immediately recently, and some other assorted tools and stuff. You drove out to this cabin, searched the place, and found all sorts of weird things here and there. You found like a glass orb, like a marble just about, but it was like perfectly see-through. And yeah, it seemed to magnetize itself to metal. You found a manual talking about devils that was actually like an academic paper on devils in mythology, but there were handwritten notes in the margins that were treating all of the subject matter in this academic paper as if it was an actual authority on devils being real and the things that actually happen with devils in our reality, as unnatural as that is. And a few other things, some tapes. Trying to remember exactly what else was in there. Uh, but yes, a whole bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, a shotgun. One of you has the shotgun, right? I forget who
I
ended
have
up
it.
with it. Excellent. You found the shotgun. Um, and a very bloody suit was also in that footlocker you found. There's also some other strangeness in the house here and there. It appears the septic tank was never connected to the rest of the plumbing, or at least it has been disconnected somewhat recently. It appears it has been connected at some time, but the plumbing has been reorganized so that nothing goes to the septic tank anymore. And there's no running water to the bathroom, it appears, at this point because of that. And there's an outhouse out back, which is very strange for a place that has an otherwise uh, what appears to be a functioning septic tank. But stranger also is that the septic tank is exposed. It's not buried, but the hatches are open on the surface, but they were locked when you found them. And one of the keys you had with you that you found in Bauman's apartment unlocked this padlock and lets you into this septic tank. However, once you opened the lid, um, I guess I should back up a little bit because you found a note from Bauman as well. And the note read, "If you're reading this, I can assume I have died or become incapacitated before I had the courage to complete my final mission. You will find about 20 gallons of gas in the shed behind this cabin. Pour it into the septic tank beside the cabin and ignite it. You'd be happier if you didn't look inside. Please make sure that the remains are kept from my children. I am so sorry. God, please forgive me." Um, you read this ominous note, you got the gas out, and you got ready to pour things into the septic tank because you had all sort of agreed. Um, at least verbally, that whatever's in there must be burned. You're just going to deal with it. You had some talk over whether it was going to explode or not. You think it should be fine, maybe a little bright, but otherwise not too bad. Dumped all the gas in there, or you were about to dump all the gas in there when you heard a voice from the inside. A screaming old woman. Not elderly, probably in her 50s, but she looks terrible as a couple of you glanced over the edge inside to see her. She is all swollen and wrinkly. Her skin is all bloodied from her clawing against the walls. Her flesh is like a bluish color from like rotting from within. She's torn out most of her hair and had just absolute horrific mess. And we got to some sanity rolls because of that, which we just previously retconned a little bit because I forgot about projecting onto bonds, but we did that. And so, unfortunately, Agent Penumbra has fallen under some temporary insanity, which we'll now get to. But yes, that is the moment you all find yourselves in. You opened this hatch. This voice spoke to you. It screamed out, "Please, please, please, blind air, let me out!" And now you're all freaking out. A couple of you are freaking out, at least, because you looked in there. The rest of you have not actually seen this being in the septic tank yet, so you don't have to roll sanity checks yet. But what are you doing?
I'm pulling whoever was leaned over the hatch away from the hatch and saying, "Start dumping the gasoline."
The what? No, please, you don't understand.
I
No.
will nod and start dumping gasoline.
What? Why? Please, no, my husband, he did this to me. As you're slowly pouring this gasoline in, I imagine it'll take a minute to pour this gasoline in because I think it was described as like 20 single gallons.
20 gallons. Yeah.
So it'll take a while to dump these in, but you start pouring them in.
I also reach into my pocket and throw a handful of salt down into the tank. Just throw a couple handfuls of salt scattered around, get it on whatever's down there.
Yeah, you can never be sure. Salt could work.
Yeah, you never know.
What's happening? Wait, where am I? What's going on?
Let me out, please.
You looked in the tank. There's something unnatural down there. It's what we're here to destroy.
We're here to destroy? Okay, I'll take your word for it. Sure.
Delta Green operation currently ongoing.
Found a book about
Dead guy found
demon summoning. Penrose knows more about that.
Pendrake, and
Yes.
yes, I have been reading through it.
My husband, he did all sorts of terrible things. Please, he couldn't let me go. He made me like this.
And you need to go back to the way you were.
We are currently working on undoing what has been done. What has been done to you. So if you would sit tight.
I want to live.
It's a little bit late for that.
No, please, you don't understand. Who has who could actually see her down there? Which I guess at this point is only Pythagoras has actually seen her now, because I guess Penumbra doesn't remember. What's your human score, Pythagoras?
60%.
60%. Okay, so just from the glance you got down there, you could tell that her like body language, her like facial expressions or mannerisms, all extremely unnatural. It's like something is puppeting this body that doesn't really know how humans act.
Yep, I'm just gonna keep pouring gasoline.
All right.
And probably say out loud, probably like comment on my observations. Like, guys, it's kind of uncanny valley, like puppeteering work down there. So I think, yeah, we're going to need to go with the original plan.
In that case, should we also gather the giant barrel of acid from the van? So we can continue to clean up once whatever's done there finishes burning.
The what?
Seems like a smart idea.
Don't you
Wait.
mind down there. We're working on it.
Wait. How do you know I'll die? How do you know I won't just be in suffering as you pour that down on me?
Well, do you have a better idea?
Let me out!
That one's not happening.
I think we'll find out together exactly how this will work.
No, please. She just begins.
And I'm writing it down so it's science.
I guess the find out stage.
This will be extremely fascinating. I'm going to make some notes in the margins of my own, I think.
So while you prepare all this, I will also note this is one thing that does get mentioned in the in this little adventure here, that though you're all very certain at this point that she needs to die, right? This Marlene, Clyde Bauman's wife, or whatever is in her body right now, you need to take care of it, right? However, it's still going to have a lasting psychological effect on you to look down at this poor old woman, pour gasoline on her and light it, right? That's still going to be, that's nightmare inducing shit, right? That's gonna affect you. So I just want to warn you that at this moment, if you do go through this plan, which might be necessary, but if you do go through with it, this will be a sanity check versus a guaranteed 1 point of sanity loss, or on a failure, 1d10 points of sanity loss, which is the standard level for essentially killing someone in cold blood, which is what this would be.
Got it. Pendrake, that book you have, that doesn't detail what kind of possessing demon we have down here, does it?
That's a good question, GM. Have I been able to discern any further details?
Yeah, that's fair. I'd say it's a bit of a long shot, but you can go ahead and give me... Actually, you know what? I'll say it's one of Clyde Bauman's things. So you can... I'll say it has some sort of advantage here. But you can go ahead and roll me your unnatural plus 20%. See if you manage to get under that.
Okay, so...
You do have some extra chance.
22 then.
Yes,
is what I need to roll under. I rolled a 19.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
So
as you know, 16. Sorry.
Excellent. So you did happen to see in some of Clyde's notes specifically a prayer that could be chanted over a body in order to summon a demon into it. So you are pretty certain that whatever spirit is animating this corpse, it is not that which originally inhabited Marlene's body.
Can we reverse the chant? Would that
is a good
expel the spirit?
So just a clarification. So you do chat amongst each other about how you're sure this is like a demon or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do this next to the pit?
We're fairly certain based on the testimony of a compatriot in the book. And the letter, I think. There's a lot of compelling evidence.
If you reveal to each other while standing over this pit that you're sure that this isn't actually Marlene down there, the act just drops and she stops begging and she stops shivering. She stops appearing hurt and begging for light and air, and she just stands there with her arms like limp at her side and just stares up out of the pit. She says, "Please, I can tell you things. Dark secrets. Does this interest you? A deal?"
Learned a lot of dark secrets already from the random junk mail that I get. So no thank you.
What
I can
sorts of
tell
things?
you. I can tell you of Carcosa, the wonderful city of light, with black stars in the heavens, where you can join the Yellow King, him that slept beneath Hastur. You can go there. I can lead you. Just let me out.
Have I finished pouring the gasoline by this point?
I think at this point you're pretty close to being done. Yeah.
Yeah, because my response to the whole deal is to just been like shut everything down and mechanically go through with the original request.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Now,
Especially since you're one of the only people that has seen it and resisted it so far, so it makes a lot of sense that you would be the one actually leaning off the edge pouring the gas in.
not gonna lie, Preceptor is a little bit interested in that offer, but the letting it out part he's not so keen on.
Mm.
Now, see,
Wait, does anyone have an MIMO lighter switch?
No, please.
I do have a lighter.
I hold my hand out.
All right,
Tell me the way to Carcosa.
as you begin talking about a lighter, that which was Marlene is going to go ahead and roll on athletics minus 40% to try and jump out.
Oh God, I don't know that I like that.
Right, that's a 31. So you begin to talk about this, and she just jumps up to the edge and like claws onto the side. I think with a crit, I would have had her jump all the way out, but she doesn't. She just gets up to the edge and like grabs onto the ground outside and starts scrabbling up. Says, "I will be free," pulling
I
herself
point
up
the
out of the pit.
shotgun in and pull the trigger.
All right, I think we're gonna enter combat.
Yep.
So into Dex order, let's go. So Marlene goes first, but I think her first action here was just jumping up to the pit, right? So next up, Preceptor and Penumbra, you two both act simultaneously since you have a tie. So you can choose whoever does whatever first. Just go for it.
You can go first, Preceptor.
All right. So, I'll stick the shotgun into the hole, look down. I know what I'm risking, but I look into it and pull the trigger as soon as I know that I'm sighted down.
All right, go ahead and roll that. I think there's a firearm skill, so go ahead and roll that.
Yes, I have 40 in the column, so I have 60.
All right. And you're just trying to hit her generally? Is that the idea?
Yeah, just hit her like center mass to blow her back down into the hole.
Perfect.
That's a 30.
All right, so with a success, you can go ahead and roll damage.
All right. We had a firearms table. There it is. Shotgun is 2d8. Where's my d8s?
So she's like scrabbling to get up. You point the shotgun down and just boom, it sinks like right into her shoulder and like upper chest as she's trying to climb out.
There we go. 2d8. 12.
12. Nice. Okay, so it's a great hit. It probably knocks like most of the like upper chest and shoulder just completely off. There's just a hole there. But you can see while she is climbing out, while that arm no longer has much strength behind her other arm is still trying to pull her up, and you can see the flesh trying to knit itself back together slowly, even after such a devastating blow. The tendons, the bones cracking back in place, the tendons starting to reconnect before the flesh knits. It's a slow process. But so it's going to take a while for that wound itself to heal, but it's going to happen eventually. She's still pulling herself up, a little bit slowed because she's now just one-armed clawing. But so Penumbra, you're up.
I've slowed it down. Knock it back in.
I. Okay, I'll try. I don't know. Can I attempt to like step on its hand to push it back in? I don't know.
Yeah, so I think something like this seems to me like, is there an athletic skill, or is I know there's like an unarmed combat skill. So you could
I
do
am
one of
There's
unarmed
those.
athletics.
combat.
Okay, I'll let you choose either one of those two to try and like push her back. I think this is kind of like an improvised thing. So,
I'll do unarmed.
all right, so go ahead and roll that and see if you can manage to shove her back into the pit.
Let's see. I got a 33, which is under my 40%.
All right, so that's a critical success.
Ooh.
So maybe you like stomp on her face instead of just like stepping on her hand. Just kick her right down there. I'll have you do an extra point of damage. 'Cause you weren't even trying to
All
do
right.
damage, but yeah, she falls down into the pit. You've essentially wasted her turn at this point. Pythagoras, what are you doing?
Do I have
Wait,
the
should I
lighter
roll
at
for
this point?
damage?
Since I did like an extra point of damage for the
Okay.
yeah. So what was that, Pythagoras?
Did they give me the lighter?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to. Is it like a big lighter or like a cigarette lighter?
Yeah, it's like a flip open lighter. What are
Okay.
those called?
Yeah.
Freaking Zippo lighter type thing.
That's a cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Cool. I am going to flip it and drop it, and then.
All right.
Duck.
I think you don't necessarily need to roll for that. I think that can just be just a quick action. You just do that. Just drop the lighter in there. Do you want to like back away from it, or like kind of what's your vibe after you drop it?
Yeah. I'm gonna start heading for the van to grab the acid right away.
Okay, so you just take off towards the van at that point. That makes sense. So you drop the lighter in, and we see it like in slow motion falling down towards the pit as Marlene is trying to stand back up again, pushing herself onto her feet, crouching down to leap again, and then just everything ignites. And you just hear this terrifying scream coming from inside the pit that is unnaturally high. No human register can reach the pitches that this scream is reaching, and it almost sounds like there's a few overlapping frequencies in there, like multiple voices screaming together. And of course, Marlene's own physical voice, or her own body's voice. Doesn't appear she's down yet, but she is hurting down there as she's in this pit full of fire. Pendrick, what are you doing?
I'm just waiting to see if she tries to crawl out while she's on fire. I don't.
All right, so if you take the wait action, you can sort of jump back into initiative anytime you want later, if that makes sense. Like you can kind of shift your turn. So perhaps if she jumps out or something, then you could have your turn right after hers or something like that. Depending on what you're doing here. So that works. You're waiting for now, and it does go back to Marlene. This is a new turn. Marlene is once again going to jump out of the pit, or attempt to, with unnatural athletics for a human. Again, a minus 40%, but unfortunately for y'all, she rolled a 13. So she is going to jump up out of the pit. Again, not a critical success. So she's now just on fire. Just her entire body beginning to burn away as she scrapes herself up out of the pit slowly, not quite making it onto the ground yet. And we're back to Preceptor. What are you doing?
I will actually
Yes.
smack her back down with my cane.
All right, give me, I think,
Melee attack.
melee attack.
Because I have that.
Yeah, with melee with a weapon is a different skill, so you can do that.
$88.
88.
That is a critical fail, I think.
All right, so I think as you swing down at her with the cane, that one arm that earlier was almost blown off, you can see is now surprisingly sturdy as she reaches up and intercepts the cane in the air and just starts to pull you down towards her. You're not in the pit yet, but she's got a hold of your cane and starting to use that to try and pull herself up with it.
Ah, shit.
So Preceptor, you see this happen. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try and just blow that arm off once again.
All right.
Get back down in the pit, you monster. Ooh.
I think
That's a 77.
Ooh, a critical
Nice.
fail.
Oh, there goes my arm now.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I do remember a table of suggested criticals, so I just want to make sure I am at least within those bounds, because I think, yeah, hitting your ally who's there in sort of a melee scuffle does kind of make some sense. Yeah, number 3 on that table is the attacker accidentally hits a friend nearby. So I think, unfortunately, roll damage against poor Pendrake, who's about to take a bit of a shotgun hit.
I am so sorry. Could be worse. It's 10.
You killed me.
No! What?
No.
So quickly.
I had 9 hit points.
Oh, fuck.
Did you take
Alright.
damage before, or you just?
No, that's my hit point maximum.
Oh, rip. Yeah, firearms are dangerous. This combat is deadly.
I am a 58-year-old fucking tenured professor.
Oof. All right, so Pendrake in this scuffle with Marlene, with these 2 critical fails in a row from this side of combat, gets pulled down in front of Marlene just as the shotgun goes off, and just takes the shotgun blast. All of you just witness Pendrake's head explode, just disappear, and the body falls into the pit. I need everybody to roll me a sanity check against violence.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Shit!
Fuck.
Can I be exempt because I turned and sprinted towards the van?
Yes, you can be exempt.
Cool.
You just hear
and this is
fucking shit behind you.
I'm still running for that
Okay.
acid.
I rolled a 12.
All right.
I rolled a 69.
Nice.
Nice.
But probably not nice considering your current sanity.
My current sanity is 40.
Indeed. Okay. So I think Preceptor, you're gonna take 1 point regardless, even though you passed. But you can, on the side of your sheet, there's like 3 boxes next to violence, somewhere on like the top rightish of your sheet. You can check one of those boxes. Every time you experience violence without going insane, you can check one of those boxes. And then
You said that I was losing 1 regardless because
Yes.
it was me.
because it
Yeah,
was you.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm at 69.
So, some of them are
Nice.
sanity
I hope you
check
can live with
rolls.
your trauma.
Sanity rolls in this sometimes have a certain number of points even on a success. So, go ahead and roll me a d6, Penumbra. See how much you get from witnessing this.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. Would you like to project that?
No,
Okay. Does that take you down to your
Oh,
breaking
jeez.
point?
it takes me 2 below my breaking point.
Oh,
Oh, no,
sometimes
this
you
is
just
going
gotta go a little
very
insane.
well. All of
It's
a sudden.
going so well. Okay. Let's see.
In fact, anytime I lose 1 sanity or more, I must make a sanity roll to resist flanking out and forgetting what caused the loss of sanity. So I need another sanity roll.
Indeed. All right.
I got a 32, so at least I remember, I think.
So you also go not only temporarily insane, but you gain a new disorder. So from the
Oh, good.
temporary insanity list here, you can either flee, struggle, or submit. And if you struggle, you lash out at anybody near you. Submitting, you just sort of pass out. So what do you want to do there?
I'm gonna absolutely pass out.
All right, yeah, just done. You see
I'll
the
be like-
blood, you're done.
I see the blood, I scream, "No, Officer Agent Penguin!" And then I get halfway through the word penguin before falling down unconscious.
Not Agent Penguin, no. All right, and then let's handle the disorder after this is done, because you're passed out anyways. Cool. So that's that. You're passed out, so you don't get a turn. It's back to Pythagoras. Are you still running to get the acid?
Can I say at this point I've heard them? Like, how far away would I have gotten? Since
So
I I did something else,
Yes.
and then I moved, so I'm probably like 3 meters away, but charging.
Yeah. So the acid is like a big drum.
Yeah.
So perhaps
I
you're
don't
running over
think
there. Just
I don't think I made it all the way there, so I was planning to turn around and head back and do a quick thing if I can.
yeah. Okay. So you're thinking like you realize partway there you probably can't lift this drum all by yourself, and you just head back
Hmm.
basically. Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
and I
back
just
in the
happened to
thick of it.
be facing the wrong direction when the headshot
Yes.
happened.
Pendrake is mysteriously missing. Uh, Gone.
Okay.
But you return.
I am single-minded on my task. I am taking one of the gasoline cans. Will it fit in the septic tank?
Like fit through the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
You probably could, but Marlene is kind of in the way at the moment. I mean, she's like scrabbling up, like in the hatch,
That's the
trying to pull
goal.
herself out. All right,
I'm gonna shove that thing through the hatch.
right. So she's currently in the hatch. I mean, she doesn't
Isn't
take
she
up the.
also currently on fire?
She is also currently on fire, trying to like scrabble up and out through the hatch. So if you want to go up to her and try to put it down like behind her or something, um,
Yeah,
that might be dangerous, but you could try.
Yeah, the goal was to like shove it on top of her head and force her down.
Oh, okay. So you're like pushing her with it. Okay. So
Yeah. Force her down and also cause maybe more explosion if there's any gas still in the can.
all right. So I think you could either count this as like a melee weapon or as like unarmed if you just want to push her down, whichever of those skills you think is better.
I'm gonna go with unarmed.
All right. Let's see if you can get her back down into the fire.
11, that's a critical success.
All right.
Ooh.
So there's struggling going on as the red mist disperses. You see, Penumbra's body passed out on the ground. You just rush up and just swing that gasoline can with like a crazy arc. Just hit Marlene right on the chin. Her head kind of snaps back, and she falls back into the fire. And you just hear that shrieking and screaming rise up once again.
I'm gonna, if I can, put the gasoline can partially in there and like use it as a plug.
All right. So you're doing
If
that.
that's possible as part of the movement. Like
I think it is possible.
it was
But
either gonna drop to the bottom on top of her, become a plug.
yeah. So you drop the gasoline can in there basically, and it's only like a 1 gallon thing, so it doesn't really plug up the opening. But um, the body falls in there. The screams erupt out, and then you see this strange yellow mist erupt up into the air through the opening. It's filled with faces, many different faces in this mist, sort of swirling through it, like the mist is taking shape, and all of them are screaming. And then all of them swirl back together down into the tank. And Mars, I'm gonna send you the stat block for this creature because it takes over your body, and you can control it.
There's no head though.
That's fine. Here we go.
Oh no, the creature.
So the creature
Penumbra.
falls
The
down.
creature bit off Pendrake's head and then it fell in there and it's possessed her body.
So yes, the body falls down. Marlene is no more. The body like burns away, but suddenly leaping up out of there is Pendrake's body, now possessed without a head. So when we get back to Pendrake's turn, then we can do that. But for now, it is actually it is back to Pendrake's turn. So what do? You are now an antagonist in this situation. I don't know if you went AFK when you muted, but if not, you are still muted.
Sounds like an AFK situation. Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Well, we'll say that'll happen soon, but rewinding slightly, what did the others of you do here? We're back to, so Marlene's in there screaming. Preceptor, you're up. You see Pythagoras just shoved it down. Penumbra's passed out next to you.
Let's see. I want to slam the hatch shut and lock it so we can go get the acid and more gasoline.
All right.
Fuck! Shut the thing. Lock them in there while we clank.
So you
clunk.
shut it. Yes. Okay. So we'll say you shut it as your action. And you shout out to Pythagoras, who then, yeah. What are you doing?
I guess I'm turning around to go for the acid again.
All right. Fair enough.
Question is, Emerios's character, I don't know. I can't remember the name. It's not Penumbra. That's
So we have,
Preceptor. Okay, cool.
There we go.
Is Preceptor's body in there, or I kind of envision Preceptor just kind of
So
dead body
Preceptor's,
draped over
I've
the
been
top, missing a
standing
head.
next to the hole.
yeah, Preceptor's
basically.
fine. Pendrake fell in without a head.
Yeah.
So,
And I yelled out a claim about the monster pulling her head off.
okay, so Pendrake did fall in.
Yes. So her possessed body is currently in the tank.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna run for the acid then.
All right. So you run and get the acid while Preceptor tries to hold the lid down. Since I think Mars is still AFK, I'll just roll an athletics again. I'm gonna, this is the game only ever calls for like a -40 for extreme circumstances. I'm gonna say with leaping out of the hole with you holding it down, I'm gonna make this a -60. We'll just see how that's so it's extreme difficulty them to leap up and push you out of the way here. That's just a total of a 3. Very low roll. So yeah, you're holding down this thing. Pythagoras runs to get the acid when suddenly this headless body shoots up out of the septic tank, knocks Preceptor aside, and just stands above the tank, just flaming, just covered with fire, as they just walk around headless trying to get at you. What are you doing, Preceptor? It's back to you.
We've got a problem! I would like to try and shoulder check the body back into the septic tank.
All right, go ahead and roll unarmed combat.
This is not great for me, but here we go. Oh, wow. 36. 4 under my 40, so that's a success.
All right. Unfortunately, poor Pendrake's body sent once again back down into the pit. And you hear
Problem
those
solved
same
temporarily.
shrieking sounds rise up and out again. And I think, yeah, at this point, being knocked down into the pit multiple times on fire, I think that's going to be it for poor Pendrake as well, unfortunately. You hear those intense shrieks that are rising higher and higher and higher until once again that yellow mist evaporates up out of the tank, floats in the air like a cloud around you, and then just disperses into the air. And all that's beneath you is a burning tank of gasoline.
At this point, I drive the van up
Yes, that makes sense.
because
over.
I realized no one was following me, so I'd have to use the vehicle and just like rough it over the terrain.
While she's pulling up, I bend over and try and lightly slap Penumbra awake. Penumbra, buddy, wake up. Come on.
Do I wake up?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, you wake up at this point. There is no Pendrake.
Wait, what happened? Where did everyone go? Wasn't there fire and
There still is fire. The creature got Pendrake. It's very tragic. But we got the creature, we knocked it back in. There was this weird mist that dissipated. So let's get the acid dumped in here and we can go home and we can try to forget this ever happened.
I'm back. Sorry, I was ordering food.
Welcome back. Unfortunate timing. The creature took over your body and I was going to have you control it for a bit, but they killed that one too.
Oh,
Rip.
cool.
Unfortunate timing. So you got killed twice tonight. Sag.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Both of the times were by me.
Yes. True.
Cool.
Actually.
Yada.
I'm
I am
really
literally
sorry, Mars.
never giving you any items ever again.
Because
I gave you that shotgun.
I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, it was you that gave the shotgun.
I didn't
too,
even
wasn't
use the shotgun the second time. I shoulder checked your body because you jumped clean out of the hole while I was holding it shut.
Oh goodness. So at this point the yellow mist is gone. You all come over, you finally have the acid. Between the three of you, I think you have a pretty clear shot here of just pouring that acid onto the fire. I'm sure that's fine. I don't know how this kind of situation would react. We're just gonna assume that just, I don't know, fucking melts through the bottom of the septic tank. It's gonna be some nasty shit. But you managed to do that.
Let's just say we close the lid to prevent any fumes from making it back up to us. So if we do,
I also throw the shotgun in there.
Yeah, everything
shit
will
out
melt
of
in
here.
there. Okay, good. So you've gotten rid of as much evidence as possible, and now it is dead quiet.
The book also was down there because it was on Pendrake's body.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's one thing taken care of. As like silence falls over the cabin in the nearby area, you realize it wasn't silent when you got here. There was the sound of some teenagers on dirt bikes and stuff nearby. And you realize that you have just shot a shotgun multiple times nearby.
I think we might want to get out of here. We took 2 vehicles. Let's take the one and go.
yeah, let's grab all the evidence from the house, shove it in the van, and drive off, right?
Is there any evidence left?
I don't think there is. There was the book, and Pendrake had that.
Did we put the footlocker in the van before we left?
I don't think you took the footlocker, but most of the contents of the footlocker were conveniently on Pendrake's body. I believe there might be a couple things still inside the house. Probably didn't take the suit or the tapes, but you could grab those real quick.
Yeah, we'll grab those.
Okay. So you can gather all of that stuff up. And yeah, you get the fuck out of there because you know that even though this is a bit of a rural place you're in, and it probably won't, the authorities won't arrive extremely quickly, you still don't want to be anywhere nearby when they do. So you've got the suit, you've got probably the empty barrel of acid that you probably want to do something with, and the tapes left as sort of evidence that Bauman was a Delta Green agent. What do you do with those?
Is there some sort of drop-off point? Because I think this vehicle was also Bauman's.
Yes.
And has a lot of suspicious stuff in it. So, like, can we drive it back to headquarters and say, here, destroy this, please?
So Delta Green does have what they call green boxes, which are sort of drop points, storage points for things that are not easy to just straight up destroy. Sometimes it's also things that might come in handy in the future, whether it's, some artifact that's like, oh yes, this is the ancient manacle that binds the devil or whatever, right? That kind of thing that might be might be potentially useful, even if it's super unnatural and it causes everybody to go insane. It might be worth keeping around just in case. That kind of stuff goes to the green boxes. And I'll say one of the green boxes near you is probably just like a regular ass like rented storage unit somewhere. But you know the exact one to go to. You know which drop points to go to in order to get a key readily available, and you're able to just stash that stuff in there. And of course there's all sorts of other crazy odds and ends in there, but everything there is cataloged. So those of you who may be wanting to sneak some unnatural stuff might be a bit disappointed by the strict record keeping there. But yeah, so you add the new items. Yes. You add the new items to the list. You keep the records updated. You know, you were the last ones to access this box, all of that stuff. And you close that door. And then I think perhaps we have a bit of a time skip. We find ourselves back in the museum, back in front of that same painting of the martyrdom of Saint Bartholomew. And once again, Preacher enters, sits down next to you all. It has been 48 hours since you last sat in this spot. Well, welcome back. There are fewer of you than last I saw. I hope that went smoothly for the rest of you at least, but based on that, I doubt it. Please report.
Dude resurrected his wife as a demon, and we had to kill it. And he kept her in a septic tank.
Yeah, so not smoothly. Okay.
Not smoothly at all. We found no evidence in his domicile, but we did find a key to a cabin. It was there that we found a book containing seemed to be methods of summoning demons or creatures from other planes.
Damn it, Bauman. Well, good you found it. Anything
It
else to
also
report?
went up in flames and acid when we dealt with the possessed elderly woman.
Good. And you didn't involve anyone else in these goings-on?
I mean, some kids might have heard a shotgun or two,
Who?
but there was no one there by the time any law enforcement would have arrived if they bothered to call.
There was a shotgun?
It's easy enough to cover up. We'll make sure local law enforcement knows there was simply a hunter in the area wandered a little too far out of his usual range.
And I guess the rental you gave us is still there because we left in Bauman's Sprinter van that had all of his like violence type stuff, including a barrel of acid.
Did you leave the vehicle there?
Well, we left in two. We got there in two vehicles, and we left in one, I thought.
We should. We would have left in two. I don't think we would have left the
Okay.
other one there.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably
So,
not a good
yeah,
trail to leave behind.
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got that out of there. Good. So you all right. And you're sure his kids won't find anything strange other than that? Nothing Delta Green, at least.
Nope. The box of mementos that he kept is in the storage drop-off.
Good.
I mean, they might find the melted septic tank, but that's unavoidable, really.
Yeah, I don't think I want to know about that one, do I?
Probably not.
It's probably
As
best
Bauman
left
himself
buried.
said, you'd be happier if you didn't.
If you do send anyone out there, it might be to finish covering up the septic tank. We didn't want to stick around too long. It's still shut. You can't get in. It's locked. But, if you could make it look like there was nothing there.
Understood. At least as long as it's not something his kids would soon discover. I doubt any of them would go digging in a septic tank. Good. Well done to you all. We'll be in contact. Thank you. And Preacher will get up and walk away. And then I think I'd like just a quick scene. I think Pythagoras, you were the only one to project onto your bond at all, right?
Yep.
Which one did you project onto, or did you spread it out a little bit?
I projected all onto ex-girlfriend that I've stayed in contact with.
Okay, so how do you think that would play out? How do you think your relationship becomes more strained in this case?
Probably just calling and like texting her a lot.
Okay. Just a lot of hey you up. Just
Yeah, kind of. Just like, I'm having trouble sleeping. Can you keep me company?
all right, you get a lot of texts back that are like, God, it's 3:30 a.m. I have work tomorrow. But obviously they were still up as they received the text, so on and so forth. And they're very annoyed at your constant texting for sure. Their responses have gotten shorter and shorter as you continue to text them in order to get some sort of human contact. And then one other surviving character, R.I.P. Pendrake, got a new disorder. How does that manifest? There's some this was a disorder you got from violence, right?
Yes.
So let's look at the violence list. So if you have any check marks and violence on the side, you can erase all those now. I don't think you did, but
I didn't.
all right. So some of the suggested ones are obviously PTSD. There's also intermittent explosive disorder, in which you suddenly experience uncontrollable fury, as your just like adrenaline just malfunctions. There's a few others here. If you have any ideas, there's sleep disorder. You could just be haunted by nightmares of what you've seen, which might be extra thematic because you don't even remember them, but like you just never really get sleep again because your subconscious remembers. I don't know.
I like that one.
All right,
Haunted by nightmares of things you can't remember.
exactly. Very Delta Green. So that one manifests with, if we were to continue with this character in the future, whenever your character would want to sleep, they would have to make a sanity test just to sleep, which wouldn't cause sanity damage, but you would repeatedly wake in terror if you were any night that you would fail that test and would be exhausted the next day. And as a character that started this one shot exhausted from a lack of sleep, it fits. Unfortunate. Anyone want to have like a quick vignette with their character of what happened after all of this went down? What do you do next? Maybe the next time you get invited to Delta Green, or just another scene in their life.
I don't think Preceptor ever handles a firearm again.
That's fair.
That's probably smart.
He had skill in it, but I don't think he's going to be using that anytime soon.
Did he have a skill in it?
Yeah, I needed 60, and I rolled 77.
Yeah, maybe
all
we see
things.
afterwards Preceptor, like years later, at a firing range, just pulls up a gun, aims it at a target downrange, and just an image of Pendrake flashes before your eyes, and you just can't pull the trigger even at a target. And then so we see that passes by. Anyone else?
I think because Pythagoras repressed everything, they will keep taking missions from Delta Green as needed. And they just kind of start distancing themselves from their work colleagues.
All right. So perhaps yet another a repeat of a Delta Green invite scene that we see years later. Pythagoras, how did you get your invite this time?
Probably in a ladder this time.
All right, so we see then perhaps we see Pythagoras at work, and an envelope gets passed to their desk, and it just has the big Delta Green logo on it, the green triangle, and we fade up from there. Do we just see Penumbra perhaps like thrashing in terror, trying to sleep some night, or like do you have another idea for scene? Or, like,
No,
what is-
that works. That works.
So we just see Penumbra just sleeping in a very comfy looking bed, and then just wakes up screaming all of a sudden, like sits upright, looks around.
Very comfy, but looking, but very clearly disheveled.
Yeah. Perhaps even we see Penumbra sleeping, a very comfy bed, and then we hear a shotgun shot, and that's when Penumbra wakes up. There's no shotgun anywhere nearby, but clearly in Penumbra's dream there was a shotgun, and Penumbra simply cannot sleep after this. The sounds of a shotgun echoing through her head, though she has no idea why that is stuck in there so much. And then you know what, Pendrake, do you have any bonds that you think what do you think is your like closest bond to you, or somebody that would be like at your funeral, right? You died
Probably my
mysteriously.
partner.
All right, that makes sense.
Who, if I may, while going through my things in the aftermath of my death, happens to go through all of the junk mail that I have kept over the years, and just like seeing the various like crack theories that people liked to send me at my job. And somewhere in there finds the invitation from Delta Green.
Perfect. Okay.
And starts training.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest something similar. That's perfect. So we see them training, and then perhaps we also see at Pendrake's funeral, like a couple of just men in black walk up, just completely serious. They have like identical everything. They almost look like clones, except for like a few slight different features here and there. Both wearing like wired earbuds up over one ear each, and they just walk
They have
up.
barcodes on the back of their neck.
Yes, perfect. They have barcodes on the back of their neck. They walk up, and we just see them tap Pendrake's partner on the back shoulder, and with gloved hands just hand out a Delta Green envelope as well. And they finally like have been acknowledged, and their training is paid off. Really, really shitty timing from these Delta Green agents coming to invite them, but at least you've got that, and perhaps we'll see them in the future. And Mayhaps. And then I have one other quick scene here. So we see in the forest a deer with long, impressive antlers walking slowly through the woods, kind of looking around for danger, and then it stops, stoops down to take a drink of water out of a creek. Over the deer's shoulder, in the water, as we look down, we see a reflection of a face. Several faces in yellow. The deer sort of bucks up and looks around, but the woods are empty around it. There's nothing behind it that was reflected in the water. And then, bang! Our view completely shifts to an over-the-shoulder view of a nearby hunter who is aiming at the deer that just got up from the water. He puts the weapon away, sees the deer fall, stumble away for a bit before falling, of course, and then he stoops down to inspect his kill when he gets there. And as he leans over, our camera pans down to the face of the deer, and we see one of its eyes just shoot open. And then suddenly, we just cut immediately to the deer's antler jabbed into, like, up right above the collarbone on this guy. He's trying to dig it out, and the deer is like twisted over backwards at an unnatural angle, just stabbing the antler deeper into him. He chokes and sputters, and the mist passes from the deer and into this man, and the screen goes black.
It'll be fine.
We'll be fine. With the black screen, we hear a dial tone. Bit of a teaser for a future thing here. We hear somebody say, "Hello?" We now see the interior of a car looking at the front seats from the back seats. We can see the driver is holding a phone up to their head, but we can't see any other details in the moment. A lower third pops up on the screen. Boston, 2015. "It's me. I'm nearing the drop." Hear over the phone. "Good. Call again when it's done, then destroy the phone." Wait. You want this done half payment before?" The driver parks the car. "Don't bite the hand that feeds you." "Don't screw me on this. The call drops. Fuck. Puts the phone away. We finally, as he moves his hand from his face, see the driver's face as he steps out of the car and slings a gym bag over his shoulder. It's the hunter we saw previously. There's a nasty scar on his neck, which he kind of shifts his collar over. And the camera pans up and rotates to see a large hospital. Multiple wings splayed out in different directions. It looks like a large number 3. As the camera pans up into the sky, we fade out, and that is the end of this one shot. Thank you all for joining me. I am so sorry, Mars, that you died so early. Unfortunate.
I am so sorry that I shot you.
The 2 critical fails in a row was really rough. But we got through it, and that's Delta Green. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed.
You said you had 9 health? You had more health than me. I had 8.
Oh, God.
I was a scrawny
Awesome.
boy.
This is one of those systems where firearms just kill you. You just die.
I would have survived by 1 health.
The automatic
Just barely.
the automatic firearms in this system just have a percentage chance to just kill any humanoid target, and if they fail to do that, you just add the percentage it rolled together into the damage. So even if you
Jesus.
succeed on the percentage chance to instantly kill you, it's still going to be something like 14 damage, and you're just going to die. So it's very
So even
lethal.
if they don't instantly kill you, the damage they do might instantly kill you.
Exactly. Just in
Amazing.
case. Yeah.
Yeah, good, great.
Guns kill
So instead
people.
of red mist, you're a bunch of bullet wounds.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing more Delta Green in the future. Hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah.
This was just the adventure that came with the free quick start. But I have already purchased so many scenarios for this. And that final scene was a post-credit scene teaser for another one upcoming. So woo.
Woo.
Nice.
All right, thank you all for playing.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for
running it.
running.